In a world cluttered with information, where truth is power, Lawin Weekly News stands apart.
We delve deeper, uncover facts, and bring stories to light. From political showdowns and economic triumphs to the pulse of the street and the heart of the community.
We capture the moments that define us, stories that challenge, inspire, and transform.
Tune in live Sundays 8 a.m. Central Standard Time and Sundays 6 p.m. Central Standard Time.
I am Nesca, and tonight we bring you the latest stories in the United States of America, especially in the state of Texas. So sit back, relax, and let Lawin Weekly News be your guide to the news that matters most. The Texas House of Representatives passed a bill that would prohibit minors under 18 from creating accounts on social media platforms, marking a major development in the state's digital regulation efforts. House Bill 186, filed by Representative Jared Patterson, passed with a 116-25 vote. The legislation requires social media companies to verify the age of users through commercially reasonable methods. It also gives parents the right to request a deletion of their children's accounts. The legislation prohibits anyone under 18 from creating or maintaining an account on platforms that generate revenue from user data and allow public interaction. Under the bill, social media companies must comply with the law by April 2026. If enacted, the legislation would make Texas the first state in the U.S. to implement a full ban on social media account creation by minors. The Texas House of Representatives is scheduled to vote Wednesday on a proposal to clarify the state's abortion laws. The measure, which passed the Senate unanimously, outlines specific conditions under which doctors can perform abortions to save a patient's life. Texas currently enforces a near-total abortion ban, with exceptions only when the pregnant patient faces a life-threatening condition. The proposed legislation seeks to provide clearer guidance to medical professionals on when they can legally intervene without risking prosecution. If passed, the bill would align language across existing abortion statutes and reduce legal ambiguity for healthcare providers. Under current law, doctors who violate the ban face fines up to $100,000 and prison sentences of up to 99 years. The measure aims to ensure that physicians can perform necessary procedures without facing penalties. The Texas legislature has passed Senate Bill 482, which would make assaulting a utility worker a third-degree felony. The bill now awaits Governor Greg Abbott's signature to become law. Authored by State Senator Carol Alvarado, the bill aims to enhance legal protections for employees and agents of utility companies who face threats or violence while performing their duties, particularly during emergency situations. The legislation was introduced in response to incidents involving CenterPoint Energy workers in Houston who reported an increase in assaults and threats following Hurricane Beryl. The hurricane made landfall near Matagorda on July 8, 2024, causing widespread damage and leaving more than 2.5 million Texans without power. The Texas Senate passed the bill following reports of these incidents. The Texas House had earlier approved the measure, clearing the way for it to proceed to the governor's desk. If signed into law, the bill would classify assaults on utility workers as third-degree felonies, carrying a penalty of 2 to 10 years in prison. The Texas Senate passed Senate Bill 2617 on Tuesday, requiring public schools to use Before Christ, or BC, and Anno Domini, or AD, when expressing dates in instructional materials and teaching practices. The bill passed with a 22-9 vote. If enacted, the law would take effect in the 2026 to 2027 school year. The legislation mandates that school districts and open enrollment charter schools adopt policies requiring the use of BC and AD in student instruction. It also prohibits the purchase or selection of curriculum materials that express dates in a manner inconsistent with this policy. The bill now moves to the Texas House of Representatives for consideration.
Hello sa mga kababayan natin dyan sa Texas. Meron po kaming show ni Desa sa June 14 sa Gaylord Texan and Convention Center. So dun po sa mga bibili ng tickets, lalagay ko po dyan sa ating caption. So magkita-kita po tayo with Desa sa June 14 dyan po sa Texas. See you!
City officials in San Marcos have issued a public warning about a phishing scam involving individuals impersonating municipal representatives to solicit money from residents. According to a city statement, the scam involves unknown individuals falsely claiming to be city officials and requesting funds. Authorities have urged residents to exercise caution and to verify the identity of anyone claiming to represent the city before responding to any financial request. Officials have not specified how many residents may have been targeted or affected. The city is currently working to address the issue and prevent further fraudulent activity. Residents who encounter suspicious communication are encouraged to report it to local law enforcement. The advisory is part of the city's broader effort to safeguard the community against financial fraud and maintain public trust. A video using artificial intelligence to depict one of the candidates in the Dallas City Council runoff has drawn scrutiny from election observers and local officials, prompting concerns about misinformation and campaign ethics. The video, described as a deep fake, surfaced online in the final stretch of the runoff campaign. It appears to show a candidate speaking and acting in a way that has not been independently verified. Both candidates in the race have denied involvement and condemned the use of AI-generated media in the election. Deepfakes use machine learning to create realistic but altered video or audio content. The Texas House recently passed House Bill 366, which would require political ads using AI-generated content to carry a disclaimer. If enacted, the bill would make it a criminal offense to distribute AI-modified campaign materials without disclosure. Fines could reach $4,000 per violation. The source of the Dallas video has not been publicly identified. The city secretary's office has not announced any investigation, but election officials have said they are aware of the situation. The runoff election is scheduled to proceed as planned. Local and state officials continue to monitor the use of emerging technologies in campaign activity. Former President Joe Biden has been diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer that has metastasized to his bones. The diagnosis was confirmed on May 18 following the discovery of a small nodule during a routine physical examination. Medical evaluations indicated a high-grade form of a disease classified with a Gleason score of 9 or grade group 5, considered among the most aggressive types of prostate cancer. At 82, Biden is the oldest living former U.S. president. His medical history includes previous health concerns, including the removal of a cancerous skin lesion in 2023 and treatment for brain aneurysms earlier in life. Following the announcement, political leaders and public officials from across the country expressed their support. San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg offered well wishes, praising Biden's strength and resilience. Surgeons at the Ronald Reagan UCLA Medical Center in Los Angeles performed the world's first human bladder transplant on May 4. The surgery was part of a UCLA clinical trial and was led by Dr. Nima Nasiri. The transplant was performed on Oscar Laringzar, a 41-year-old father of 4 who had lost most of his bladder due to tumor removal after cancer treatment several years ago. The 8-hour procedure also included a kidney transplant, which began functioning immediately, eliminating the need for dialysis. UCLA officials confirmed the completion of the transplant on Sunday. The successful surgery marks a significant step in organ transplantation and offers a new option for patients with severe bladder disorders. Bladder transplants provide an alternative to the current practice of using the intestine for bladder replacement. Hospitals and medical professionals around the world are closely monitoring the outcomes of this pioneering trial, with the potential for broader adoption of bladder transplants in the future. Harvard University filed a lawsuit on May 23rd, challenging the Trump administration's ban that prohibits the institution from enrolling international students under the F-1 visa program. The ban, issued by the Department of Homeland Security, or DHS, cited concerns over an unsafe campus environment allegedly linked to anti-American and pro-terrorist activities. The ban affects more than 7,000 international students currently enrolled at Harvard. The university's complaint argues that the DHS decision violates constitutional rights, including the First Amendment and the Due Process Clause. Harvard claims that international students are essential to its educational mission and that the ban disrupts academic activities just like days before the school's graduation ceremonies. Harvard seeks to have the ban reversed and to block the administration from interfering with its enrollment of international students. University officials emphasize the importance of maintaining a diverse academic community and assert that the ban undermines the institution's core values. The International Criminal Court, or ICC, pretrial chamber has granted the prosecution additional time to disclose witness identities and arrest warrant materials in the case against former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte for alleged crimes against humanity. Presiding Judge Julia Antonella Motoc signed the 5-page decision on May 20th, 2025 this year. The court approved the prosecution's request to extend the disclosure deadline, setting a new cutoff date of July 1st, 2025. The chamber ordered the Office of the Prosecutor to complete the disclosure of materials related to the relevant witnesses by the deadline. It also directed the prosecution to submit any related applications within the same timeframe. The case stems from Duterte's anti-drug campaign during his presidency, which has drawn international scrutiny and prompted a formal investigation by the ICC. Pope Leo XIV, during his first weekly general audience on May 21st at St. Peter's Square, called for the immediate entry of humanitarian aid into Gaza and an end to hostilities affecting civilians. He described the ongoing humanitarian crisis in the region as increasingly distressing, emphasizing the dire impact on vulnerable populations, including children, the elderly, and the sick. In his address, Pope Leo XIV urged an end to the hostilities affecting civilians and called for the protection of all lives. He highlighted the importance of humanitarian corridors to ensure that aid reaches those in need. The Pope's call for sufficient humanitarian aid underscores the urgent need for international efforts to address the crisis and provide relief to those affected. Pope Leo XIV's appeal aligns with this broader commitment to promoting peace and supporting vulnerable communities worldwide. His leadership continues to inspire efforts toward humanitarian action and the pursuit of justice for those in need. The Filipino young professionals of Austin, Texas, marked a milestone with the successful launch of their first ever leadership summit held in celebration of Asian American and Pacific Islander, or AAPI, Heritage Month. Among the distinguished guests were Consul General Gunther Salas and Vice Consul Tanya Gaurano, who joined the event to show support for the growing community of Filipino-American professionals in the region. The summit served as a platform for young Filipino-Americans to connect, collaborate, and engage with leaders and trailblazers from a range of industries. Through panel discussions centered on themes such as representation, excellence, and community leadership, participants exchanged insights and experiences aimed at empowering the next generation of leaders. In his remarks, Consul General Salas emphasized the importance of community as a cornerstone of both professional success and meaningful societal development. He underscored that the Filipino spirit of bayanihan, the collective effort to support one another, is not only a cultural value, but a driving force in building strong, sustainable communities and contributing to nation building. Novak Djokovic announced Tuesday that he will not immediately seek a new coach after ending his partnership with Andy Murray as he prepares for the French Open. Djokovic and Murray concluded their coaching relationship last week after a difficult start to the 2024 season. Djokovic, who holds 24 Grand Slam titles, said he feels no urgency to make a new coaching hire. Djokovic will face Hungary's Martin Foxovitz, ranked number 134 in the world, on Wednesday in his first match of the tournament. He hired Murray earlier this year, citing their familiarity and shared history on tour. The two parted ways following what Djokovic described as a mutual decision. The French Open stands as a critical point in Djokovic's 2024 campaign, especially as he continues to search for his first win on clay this season. Despite recent coaching changes, Djokovic said he aims to focus on performance and preparation. He has opted to rely on his experience and personal strategy heading into the season's second Grand Slam. Djokovic has also won the French Open 3 times, continues to refine his clay court strategy as he aims to add to his Grand Slam record. Ray Parks Jr. announced on Thursday that his return to Japan's B-League remains under negotiation. The statement came during the B-League Final Week Manila event held at Gateway Mall. Parks, who has played in the Japanese Professional Basketball League for the past 4 years, expressed appreciation for his experience abroad but clarified that no official signing has been made. He added that his current focus is on personal matters, particularly family and wedding preparations, with his fiancée, YouTube personality Zainab Harake. The event also featured other Filipino B-League players, including Kiefer Ravina and Dwight Ramos, highlighting the growing presence of Filipino talent in international basketball. Park's future in the league remains a subject of interest among fans and observers, reflecting the broader visibility of Filipino athletes competing overseas. Justin Bieber faced criticism on social media after revealing in a now edited Instagram post that he once told his wife, Hailey Bieber, she would never be on the cover of Vogue. Justin originally included the statement in a congratulatory post celebrating Hailey's recent Vogue cover appearance. The post was later edited to remove the comment and replace it with emojis, though the celebratory message remained. Hailey, who has not publicly commented on the incident, recently appeared on the cover of Vogue, marking a notable achievement in her modeling career. The cover drew praise from fans and industry figures, though the post by her husband shifted focus toward their personal dynamic. Justin Bieber has not issued a public apology or further comment. The edited post remains visible with the original language removed. Miss Universe Asia Chelsea Manalo walked the runway for Filipino designer Michael Cinco on May 22nd during a fashion show held at the Carlton Hotel in Cannes. Manalo appeared alongside fellow Miss Universe Continental Queens Tatiana Calmel, or Miss Universe Americas, and Matilda Huertavori, Miss Universe Europe and Middle East, as they showcased Cinco's latest collection. The Miss Universe organization shared highlights of the event on Instagram, describing the participants as continental queens who illuminated the runway with their presence. The fashion presentation was followed by a charity gala, which concluded the evening. The appearance marks another international engagement for Manalo, who continues to represent the Philippines in global platforms through both pageantry and fashion. As we brace ourselves for the upcoming weather changes, let's dive into what you can expect day by day. Whether you're planning outdoor activities or just preparing for the week, we've got you covered with the most accurate forecast. Stay tuned with us as we take a closer look at the weather patterns that will impact our region. Remember, here at Lawin Weekly News, we bring you the clearest skies to the stormiest forecasts. So those were the latest stories in Texas this week. I am Nesca Santina from Lawin Media Network. Have a great day.
Lawin Weekly News.
Tune in live Sundays 8 a.m. Central Standard Time and Sundays 6 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Lawin Weekly News.